right, bro. Week 2. Tell us what day it is. Tell us what's going on.
Sunday, May 5th, 2024. Week 2.
Could you give us a quick, in your own words, summary of what happened between the end of week 1
Yeah.
and now?
I was thinking about this because I knew you were going to ask me it. And it's like, it's so hard to like think of like what even happened like this week. Not because of this week in particular, but it's just like, it just goes on. It just kind of happens. You know what I mean? And it's you're conscious, you're present, but it's like I'm not paying attention to every fucking little thing, little detail that happens to like recap it until we started doing this. Like I'm not thinking about it. So if I had to recap what happened this past week, I feel like there was a lot of like tangible things that you could say happened. Fucking business, this, that, all these little things. But I feel like if I had to wrap it all up, you know, I would say like definitely like growth happened, like progression happened for me this week on like a personal level and like a professional level and like a spiritual level. Like that's the only thing I could really like summarize it to be honest with you.
Were there any big catalysts this week for growth that stood out? Something that you tried in the last couple days? Something that you stopped doing?
Yeah, I started like really diving into like meditations more heavily and like visualization and practices like that and identifying like any change that were tying me to who I was. I stopped drinking caffeine even though I wasn't drinking much of it. It just still felt like a weight holding me down. Like I just don't want to be attached or reliant on anything, whether that's a substance, whether that's another fucking human being that I'm relying on to like get something done in my life. Like it's just been identifying like any chains or relationships that I currently have dependence on and removing those from my life because I just feel like I'm supposed to go through this part of the journey right now where I develop like this insane spirit of self-reliance in every area.
Okay, I like that. What about going into the week coming up? What are we hoping to get done? Is there anything on the agenda? Are you just taking it as it goes?
Yeah, I don't really give a fuck anymore about like hoping to get shit done. I don't really give a fuck. It's just fucking stupid to me. Like, just fucking show up and be the best version of myself every single day. And if you commit and choose to do that, things will get done. Like, yeah, I have some stuff like I want to do and like non-negotiables. Like, I'm not going to stop fucking working out. I'm not going to like not eat healthy. Like, shit like that is like very fucking obvious. But it's like, that is just what the best version of yourself would do. But like, no more fucking stress about this has to get done for this business venture and this has to get done for, because we have so many fucking things going on. We have a lot of like spinning plates, and you could either be like, even though like you want them all to work, you could either be a fucking victim to wanting them to work, or you could just fucking know and trust that they're going to work. Because it's like we have so many fucking spinning plates and good ideas and offers and things that we're fucking pursuing right now that it's like I really just came to the conclusion over like the last couple months, like the last month and a half, but really I feel like I reached a whole new level of it the last 3 weeks of like I just don't care. Like, and I don't care not in the sense of I don't want them to work, but I don't care as far as like the fucking significance that I'm giving them and the attachment that I have to them. And I honestly feel better mentally, physically. I feel way more calmer. I feel more confident. I feel more trusting in like what we actually have going on by giving less of a fuck about the things that we have going on. And I feel like I'm just way more positive about it because the more you think about these things and the more you try to fucking constrict them and force them to work in a certain way, you're fucking cutting off the fucking blood flow and oxygen to them.
That's big. That's big. So You started meditating a lot more and cut out caffeine. Which one made a bigger difference?
They go hand in hand. That like because it's just what do both of those things do? They give you more presence. Caffeine fucking speeds you up. It's a stimulant. It speeds up your fucking nervous system. It secretes different hormones in your body. And really what it is at the end of the day is like you are escaping the present moment to a certain extent. It might not affect, somebody might watch this and be like, you're full of shit. Yeah, it might not affect you like that. It affected me like that. And there's just, I don't want to fucking escape this present moment from anything, really. And so that coupled with like things like meditation, it's just like tapping into that fucking ultimate presence, that silence, that power, that like just fucking what's there. Like there's nothing that has to fucking happen in that moment. So that's why like I'm coming on right now and I'm fucking giving like a sermon. I'm like fucking ranting and shit. But that's like to try to convey the experience that I've had over the last week or two, because last week I kind of talked about it a little bit, but like to actually, you know, describe like how I'm feeling right now, it's kind of hard to put into words, but it's fucking good. It's just like this ultimate trust in myself and in the fucking universe to bring to me what the fuck I want. And I feel like it's just from being present in the moment and not wanting to change any circumstances for better or for worse.
Let's pivot to creative pursuits. Let's talk about music because we were back in the studio this week. What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, I don't really feel like we were in here at all this week. Maybe like once, maybe like earlier this week.
That was more than the last week and the week before that combined.
No. The week before that, we were in here a few times. This week, we weren't really in here at all.
Maybe I'm like
you're mixing timelines up.
Yeah. What about music though?
I feel good about it. Tapped into it. Didn't really like make as many songs this week as was I talked about last time we sat down, but I don't care because like I know myself. Like last year when I went on a fucking tear and I made like 50 songs in like 40 days, like I know I could do that at another point in time. Like when I'm feeling ready and I could just tap into that. That's just who I am. So it's just like instead of being like, yo, I need to make 3 songs this week, I want to make 2 songs this week. Like it's good to have those things in mind to like calendar them out to actually give yourself like the availability to go and do it. But I like know who I am and like it's just no more fighting it. Like I'm supposed to fucking make music, and when I'm doing it in the right way, it just fucking comes out of me like it did last summer when we were recording. So I'm feeling ready that's coming again very shortly because I've made a couple really fucking bangers over the last couple weeks, and so it's just a matter of time until it all starts pouring out.
There was one big last thing I wanted to talk about, and that was we had a conversation this week about looking forward to things, and we started a lot of new routines lately. Could you talk about that?
Repeat the question.
Could you talk about the conversation we had about looking forward to things in our routine now? Because we implemented a lot of new things in the last couple weeks.
Just like fucking like we decreased the amount of time. I decreased the amount of time I go to the gym. So it caused me to start looking forward to it more. Like we only go 3 times a week. And now we're going together. So like it's fun. Like looking forward to it. Like it was easy to stay disciplined. Like I was in the gym 7 days for the last like pretty much 6 or 7 days a week for the last 3 or 4 years. And like this is the first time like I can't go every day. But now I look forward to it more. So I think that was one thing. Were there other things specifically that you wanted me to talk about that you just meant?
No, I didn't know if anything else you had in mind that you were feeling that way about.
It's also like not being able to come in the studio every day. I think I look forward to it. Us sitting down and doing this weekly update. I was looking forward to this since last Sunday.
Yeah.
So I just think like we're doing a lot of things right now where it's like fun, but we're also, there's also like tangible benefits to doing them. And I don't know, like I've just been looking really forward to doing a lot of the shit that we're doing right now.
Is there anything you want to touch on, you want to close on that we didn't talk
Um, yeah, it's funny. Like, I feel like, this is why we want to do this, because I want to look back at this shit like 2 years from now and like be like, where the fuck was I at during this week? I'll just summarize really bluntly how I'm feeling about a lot of shit. And yeah, so I talked earlier, like a few minutes ago, when I was rambling about fucking trusting in yourself and like just doing what you were fucking aligned to. And I think there's a lot of motherfuckers, and I was guilty of this, that are just so fucking gay about fucking, you gotta grind, you gotta stay disciplined, you gotta grind, you gotta wake up every fucking day at like 2 a.m. and you have to fucking, like, like, motherfuckers are so on their routine and that it causes them to be off of their purpose. Like, it's a scale. Like, yeah, you could be on one side where you don't have any discipline, you don't have any routine. Obviously, you're not going to be on your purpose. But I think there's a lot of motherfuckers that it just comes across as so fucking gay to me, that they're so routine that they're off their purpose. And I was guilty of that. And it's just like, you doing obvious degenerate things that are throwing you off your purpose, and you just replacing those with better habits but still not being on your purpose, is really the same thing. It's about developing the skill set of discernment, where it's like, who are you going to be? Like, we only have one life. We've incarnated on this planet for a specific reason, intention, and purpose. And you have that version of yourself that you need to tap into. Like, I want to make music. I want to be a creative person. I also want to make money. I also want to be in really great shape. My routine's going to be different from somebody that doesn't have a lot of those pursuits. That doesn't mean it's right. That doesn't mean it's wrong. That doesn't mean what you're doing is right or wrong. But I think too many people are like trying to play this character of like this rigid, ultra disciplined Jocko Willink type of figure. And it just kind of looks gay. It's just kind of gay. Like, you're obviously, like, you're very close to being on the right path, and I'm not trying to like condemn or talk shit on anybody that's doing that, but like, I've experienced that, and it causes you to just take action that you're not aligned with. And I just want to tell people, like, really develop that skill set of awareness and self-discernment, because that's going to take you further than just doing what on paper looks right. Like, I guarantee it, I'm going to look back at this, I'm going to pass so many motherfuckers out, because it is a game. Like, life is a game. I'm going to pass so many people out from just going down this path that I've been tapped into and tapping even more into it and following along with it, than just doing what's on paper, like some sort of rigid discipline. And it's because I'm tapping into a life where it's easy for me to go and do things. Like, if you need to go and force yourself to work, if you need to force yourself to work out, if you need to force yourself to do whatever it is that you feel like you're supposed to do, you're never going to be able to do it. Okay, yeah, there's days where you don't feel like doing something in your discipline, but if it's an everyday battle of you having to force yourself to go and do something just because it sounds good on paper, you're never going to be able to fucking fully, materialize your desires, in my opinion. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing right now, is there's all these figures that I love. I listen to a lot of them, like fucking Tate and Wes Watson and all these fucking dudes. And they're right in what they're saying. But like, there's Kool-Aid to that too, where if you drink too much of that Kool-Aid, it starts to have like a negative effect. It's like the same thing. Like, if you drink too much caffeine, it has a negative effect, right? Where it's like, yes, do these things, but do it in a way that you're aligned with you and your purpose. Don't just fucking be ultra disciplined and rigid to the point that it throws you off. It throws you out of character for who you're specifically supposed to be. Like, look at a dude like Burner. Burner, he's a rapper, if you guys don't know. He owns Cookies, the weed company, right? He has a couple things. This dude makes art like it's like so easily. It's so good. And his net worth is definitely like half a B or over. Like, you could look that up. Like, this dude ain't in the gym 7 days a week, probably waking up at 3 a.m. But like, he's getting stuff done. He's employing people. He's on his purpose. He's making art. And it's just like, that's beautiful. There's something beautiful about that. Because he trusted his intuition. Like, this dude was just pushing weed like in California probably like 20 years ago. Like, just fucking around, And so it's like we need more of that, I feel like, back. We need like less of the fucking neo-Nazi fucking success dudes out here. And we need more fucking dudes that are like on their purpose but are still disciplined, but maybe they're doing creative pursuits, and that's just who I want to be. So that's how I'm feeling.
That's good. Until next time. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
All right, peace.